In this video, we're going to be interviewing Wavix, a man known for his analysis of current events in Geometry Dash, as well as his hatred for health-themed levels. We'll be going over the future of top play, as well as potential features for future updates, then making a brand new game mode for 2.3 at the end. Hello there.
Hello, thanks for having me on the show.
You've kind of provided thoughts in the past about the future of the game, especially in regards to top play. Do you think that there's a skill ceiling in Geometry Dash, or will it just continue to be pushed until the servers close, basically?
It's a little more nuanced. Everyone has like a different opinion on how exactly a potential skill ceiling would like pan out, but essentially it's just there probably is a certain limit. Think of some arbitrary limit, like a difficulty cap that is the maximum amount that the servers can hold, like the maximum amount of difficulty that can physically fit in one level, and the maximum amount of like time someone can put into that with like any amount of given skill. And we can always be approaching that line, but it's asymptotic in the sense that like the closer you get to that line, the harder it is to keep pushing forward, right? So honestly, in practice, it'll probably just be until the servers close, because you can always make something more difficult. I doubt we would ever get something like silent circles, like that's like physically impossible, but I could very well imagine something being like where the difficulty gap between Stereo Madness and Eternus is half the difficulty gap between Stereo Madness and some other level, like 20 years in the future, provided that the game is still alive.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the example of Silent Circles was maybe a bad one, since there's glitch route that you can do that actually allows you to beat the level.
There's like that weird, I think UFWM did that.
Well, he tried to do it. He got to 40%, which isn't far enough along to do that, I don't think. I actually saw someone the other day that got past his record of 40% on the level. They got 42.
Oh yeah, isn't that Seals, if I remember correctly?
I don't remember. I was actually very excited to see that video.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. They've been
they've been grinding
doing some cool stuff. I think they have like 66 on Aquamarine or something like that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Do you think that there are currently any underrated players that could be making their way to the top soon? Kind of like what W Popoff did, with just like not really getting noticed until some big event happened. I don't really remember what it was for W Popoff, but...
Well, I think for W Popoff it was beating Slaughterhouse 5 times separately, not when he did it 3 times in a row, which obviously was something that he's much more known for now. And especially his race with Trick in Tidal Wave and all of that. In terms of players that are like underrated, I mean, it's impossible to tell if something like W Pop-Off will happen again, where someone just sort of like seemingly comes out of nowhere. So they're just so good at the game, they're barely even noticeable on the demon list until they just completely rise to like the top 3, basically. There are some top players who have a lot of completions in the top 5 that barely get any conversation. Some of those would include like Thunder's at number 4, and then Taigo and I think Snowballer are also like really, really good players. I think in like somewhere in like the top 7 to 10-ish of like on the stats viewer, and there's much less conversation surrounding them. So when top players now like Zoink and Trick like sort of retire from the game, they might become our next top players, and it might feel like they were underrated before, even though they already had tons of demonless completions or like points and whatnot. But another W Pop-Off, like I would be completely unaware. Maybe Seals at this point if he's got Silent Circles almost.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be an underdog story.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Do you think that Trick or W Popoff are going to rise to the same legend status that Zoink had in his prime?
Trick, no. He's finally sort of reached top player status, like now, basically. And even then, he only really did it because he completed a bunch of stuff in secret. And his big top 1 project is Amethyst, which, don't get me wrong, is extremely impressive. But the legend status that Zoink achieved was because he was like so incredibly unrivaled for so long after Space UK was exposed, with Acheron, Avernus, and Tidal Wave being the 3 consecutive top 1s that he verified. I mean, that's a high bar. I think W Pop-Up can do that for sure, but especially since I think Trick recently announced on Twitter that he's probably leaving the community after Amethyst. He's not going to get to that level, and he doesn't seem like he cares about that anyways, which is fine.
I agree. It definitely seems like W Popoff could do that, considering that he literally beat Avernus in 6 days. Like, that's actually crazy.
And he has the casual attitude towards it to where like he can do that, and like didn't he like name his completion like Avernus?
Yeah.
He definitely has the potential to do that, especially I think he's currently verifying Vehemence's as well. Like there's so much stuff that he could do. Like I think he could do the 3 consecutive top 1 things if he wanted to.
Yeah, probably so. Moving on more to like 2.21 and 2.3, RobTop has become quite notorious for delaying features promised in the next update. Do you think that he'll delay explorers or any features expected in 2.21, or maybe even cancel them altogether?
Yeah, he is. He's pulling a bit of a Mojang. He has floated the idea before 2.2 came out that 2.3 would only take a few months, which I think by now we know is not going to be the case.
Nope, not at all.
I could see him delaying explorers, but I think the rest of the features that are promised in 2.21 are much less likely to be delayed, and that's because, like, from the beginning, even within the game itself, you click on one of those boxes in the menu, and it specifically, like, Keymaster pops up and is like, this will show up in 2.21. Whereas explorers, if you weren't following the development process of 2.2, you might be a lot less invested in. So he'd probably prioritize versus mode, and what was the other big feature that he was delaying? The map.
Oh yeah, I forgot that the map existed.
The map would also be pretty easy to implement anyways, so yeah.
I mean, it's basically just like platformer gauntlets, right?
To my understanding, yeah. I think it's still kind of ambiguous, but I think it might be a little bit more story-driven. But yes, honestly, like, he doesn't even have to do that much work. Like, he could implement the map pretty easily, and then it's just working on versus mode. So in terms of 2.21, I could see that maybe Explorers being delayed from it. I wouldn't understand why, just because making one level shouldn't take more than like a few months, really. And that's being, I think, fairly generous considering, like, I know he has to tiptoe around making it fun and all that, but I don't know. I think 2.21 to me feels like it could be out by the end of the year. Whether Rob will do that or not is another question.
Do you see the rating system having a major update in 2.21 or 2.3?
I hope it does. Wishful thinking, but I could see if people are like asking RobTop more and more about it, him considering it. I've not been the biggest fan of the rate system for like the longest time. I would hope that there would be one, although the likelihood of there being a rating system update in 2.21 or 2.3 seems rather unlikely. If so, it'd probably be 2.3. The legendary and mythic ratings are already somewhat of an update to it, and the voting process for demons getting rated has been scrapped. And there's the scent tab as well. So I think Rob would probably put that on the back burner.
What would an ideal rating system look like for you?
Well, there's the like perfect rating system, and then there's the rating system, the best rating system that we could like reasonably ask for. In a perfect world, I would say any finished level that has a somewhat consistent style should be rated, as long as it's not like a troll level or it has like gore or something. Getting stars for beating any level, I think, is perfectly fine. That's just for star rates. Teachers and epic worthy and all that is a different story. In terms of what we could attain, I would say mods being able to just rate levels themselves would be a huge upgrade. The problem, of course, is that like Rob has very little trust in other people, which of course I understand, but there are ways that Rob could implement that. Like maybe not every mod is able to rate things, but like elder mods like Viprin or trusted community figures like EPW are able to rate levels. The specific logistic ins and outs of how that system would work are dependent on some stuff that we don't really know much about in terms of how the mod community works. I think that's not an unreasonable ask for there to be more people who are able to rate levels and have the standards for just star rates to be much lower, because getting the basic in-game rewards for beating any level I think is pretty essential to the game.
And I mean, I feel like really the main problem with allowing other people to rate levels is that if you allow them to rate levels, they may have a bias towards their own levels.
That is true.
That may be why he doesn't want other people rating them, but I mean, if he allows mods to just put a star rate on it, that would probably be fine.
Yeah, and especially if they're allowed to do star rates and then send it for like a feature or an epic or something, which honestly that does sound like a pretty nice idea. Like the risks of that wouldn't be too bad if it is like their own level and they give it like a star rate and like send it a request for like a mythic or something, and then RobTop's like, nah, you get epic and that's it. Like that would probably be fine, even if the level was like barely rate worthy. I mean, we kind of already see similar stuff like that now. Like there will just be a ton of Viprin levels on like GD awards and stuff.
Yeah. I actually looked at the profile of the person with the most creator points right now, and I looked at the second level down that had obviously been rated, and it was the most horrendous thing I'd ever seen. It was so bad. Like it looked like something in a creator server that somebody would send and say, hey, can you give me feedback? This was my first first level.
Hold on, I'm like on my phone trying to find it now.
It's so terrible. I can't remember what it was called.
Pharmaceutical lab. Oh my god, what is this? Dude, what? Yeah, it's
so bad.
This is, oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe it would be slightly exacerbated, but if the rate standards for star rates are lower anyways, it'd be an overall improvement. I could see that happening, but getting like a world where like every level that deserves a star rate gets a star rate is never, because moderation is needed, will probably never be like completely possible. I can still see it getting decently close though.
Are there any specific features that you think are going to be coming out in 2.3?
None specifically, other than maybe some more, I would guess look at like the most popular geode mods and popular features in Mega Hack, and a lot of those would probably be coming too, because Drop Top seems to have been trending in that direction. Show hitboxes on death could be one. I could see like texture pack support being a 2.3 thing.
That would be nice.
So Drop Top has hinted at this a little bit, but an alternative to the wave game mode and swing game mode and platformer mode.
Yeah, that would definitely be good.
Yeah, and that satisfies like the new game mode requirement for 2.3, since he's been adding a new game mode for the past few updates, or big updates, I guess. And even then, like, I don't even know if there's room for more game modes in classic mode. People are taking them a lot of time to get used to the new swing copter, which is completely fair.
Especially since we had an old swing copter that already had different physics.
I mean, we had 3. There was the ball one was by far the most popular, but like the gravity was it's more intense if you use dual ball and less intense if you use dual spider. So we had 3 different swing copters, one of them being much more popular than the other 2. So now we kind of have like 4. So it's
and then I guess that there was also cube copter.
So yeah, I would be interested to see what Rob would add for another classic game mode, but it seems like they would kind of fall into like relative obscurity, more so than the swing copter has.
Final question that everyone's been asking. How close are you to passing Liechtenstein in subscribers?
We're super close. We're like 1,000 away. We hit 38K like yesterday or today or something. Yeah, so we're 1,300 away roughly. We're almost there. We'll get there.
Almost there. You know, better hope a new census doesn't come out soon.
Yeah, a new census coming out, or like the people in my comment section joking about moving to Liechtenstein, or Liechtenstein actually do.
Oh no. All right, now for the challenge segment, keeping on theme with 2.3, we're gonna have 10 minutes to make a brand new game mode that we would like to see added to 2.3.
Awesome. Okay.
10 minutes starting now. Alright, my idea is going to be a platformer game mode where you can stick to walls. Need to just start by adding some of these.
Okay, sick. I have a game mode idea already.
It's canceled.
Why did you cancel the timer? What the heck? Okay, you know what? Whatever.
You could just walk through the ground. What? Maybe if I add a rotation camera trigger, this would look better.
The idea is every input is like a dash orb. Is this cheating? I feel like this is cheating. Well, it's not, because I have the swing copter, so...
Oh, I think I may have made this worse. Yeah, the rotate triggers definitely make it worse. Maybe I can hide the fact that this is extremely janky. Maybe I should make this all game mode.
What if we have the same idea? I really hope we don't. There's like a ton of these on Daily Dose of GD, but I have not watched like any of them. I am a fake fan, I guess. We'll do this, and then we'll have it so that you have to go up, or not up. I guess you'd be going down, but you're upside down. Whatever. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean.
My gosh, this is taking longer than it should. Oh, this is weird. But you know what? Weird is good. Well, I think I finished this actually. Guess maybe I'll just come up with a name for it.
What if I made the gravity more intense? I feel like that's kind of needed. Let's do like a giant stupid clubstep monster. This clubstep monster has a tumor. What is this? What have I done?
Oh my gosh, this is so bad. I'm losing this one for sure. Wonderful.
And then here, we'll make a little GG. We'll do like a little sub to Shurikon. Did I spell that right? I hope I did. I'm not gonna go check. I cannot do that. And Wavix. Okay, let's verify this. Do you have show hitboxes on death?
No. I just realized why that would be bad.
Yeah, the sheer amount of dash orbs in this level. I did it. I verified it.
And now you can vote for who won by clicking the first link in the description, and your vote will be shown in the next video. Congratulations to Benoct. You win this time.